Yes, fine. Yep.
Okay, perfect. If at some point you don't hear me, let me know and I'll switch to headphone to earphones.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Oh, good. So how have you been since last night?
Oh, wow. Good, really good, really good. I'm really starting to recognize. Let me see how am I gonna put this in words because language always falls short. But what I want to say, um, okay, I have been really recognizing the patterns of the mind, which, as you told me, it's like let's say a thought would happen, and immediately there's a reaction, some sort of a reaction. Could be a big one, could be a not so big one, and that I cannot control. But as soon as I see that, I say, "Oh, this is the magic show of the mind." Instead of going in with the mind and starting getting into the train of stories and thoughts and more stories and more thoughts and
Mm.
immediately I catch, oh, okay, that's the magic show. And
Yes.
then I just, as soon as I catch it doesn't get me on the train of of somebody. Okay,
Yep.
it doesn't get me on the train of on the roller coaster of of the mind. And it's really awesome how just by catching it and then not trying to make any effort to change it or to be somewhere else, only just effortlessly catching it and then like, oh, and then okay, no longer am I on the train of the mind, so to speak.
Yes. Yes. So do you get that metaphorically you're on the outside of the cage looking in?
Yes, 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 definitely, yes.
Yep.
Wanted to ask you a question. This is something is it okay to ask
Yep.
now? Okay.
Yep.
Um, you said in our meeting, if I understood you correctly, that there is no difference between thoughts and feelings. Did I understand you correctly?
Yes, yes and no. What I said was that's something that you will see in time to come. It's something you will experience. Don't worry about it as a concept,
Okay.
right? It may be true, but it's irrelevant to you at the moment. It's just a concept. You will discover this at some point.
Hmm. Okay, at the because at the moment, right where I am right now in this moment, I okay, you know what? I'll discover it for myself.
Yeah.
I'll discover it later. I'll yeah. I'm a person who really wants to know, really
Yes.
wants to have the knowledge already.
Yeah.
But okay, okay, I'll take your word for it. I'll wait.
Uh, so you get that knowledge, that information, retaining information keeps that cage intact, or at least giving it importance, giving it too much importance keeps you locked up in that mental process.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
we still need to get out of that habit, and you're doing a good job of that. It's happening rather well. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when you see that, and if you add that to the recognition that the self or the illusion of the self can only exist at a mental level, and that when you deconstruct that sensation that you call a self, you're just left with sensations and a story, right? Once, so what we that takes a little time. That will filter through everything and change the perception of everything.
Yeah, yeah, I got it. Do you suggest that as a practice, I should uh, spend every day uh, 2 hours, 3 hours of just sitting down and watching the mind and catching it?
Well, you can do that if you want. Okay, let's ask Anton. Anton knows, right?
Uh,
He's a countryman of yours as well, so that's also interesting.
oh,
היי שי, היה נחמד
hi,
לראות את
Anton.
הכוס ששתיתם ממנה, שזה כוסות שיש רק בישראל. I'm sorry, I spoke about something irrelevant, like to the
Yeah.
subject. I really do not know, because it's really everyone have his own experience, and I cannot really say what you need to do or not, but I like to meditate, so I meditate. That definitely can help to stable the mind. So if during the day you experience a lot of like fluctuations and thoughts that you are following, then it can be a good idea to sit and to have less disturbances from the world, to have the mind settle, and
Mhm.
it can seem that your experience will be more clear and pleasant, or not, or one day it is and our day it is not. And usually the thing is that as you will have more experience of more or less that spacious silence,
Uh-huh.
where there are sometimes thoughts but less thoughts, yeah, let's say.
Yeah.
The more, usually, this is what I experience, and I think I'm not the only one, the more after that you can have a storm of thoughts and feelings, because you made some space for all stuff to arise, and you
Uh-huh.
will have this kind of fluctuation. This is what usually happens. As
Mhm.
you make space, all the old stuff arise intensely, and then it, like for me, it's still like this. I can have experience of like nothingness, and I don't know how to explain this, and then another day it's like lots of sensations and thoughts, but with time it's more, it's not so important, it's not so
Mhm.
dramatic, it's all experienced inside of me, like inside of everything, as
Mhm.
everything. It's not,
Mm.
it's less and less my experience, it's just experience.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not mm, my experience, I can be with it with less resistance. So
Yeah.
it's all about less and less resistance, and everything is just happening. So, and meditation, in my experience, can seem to help. It's not
All
really
right.
helping because it's all, you are not uh, really have a possibility to choose to meditate or not, but it may become a habit, and it may
Uh-huh.
seem to help. This is what I experienced, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm but don't believe that this is the reason of what is. Yeah, because what is already and always as it is. I
Mm-hmm.
may meditate or not, it will not change it.
Yeah, of course. I'm talking about
But it may change the experience of it.
the attachment to the phenomena. Not to try to get rid of the phenomena, but the attachment to um, the
Even the
attachment.
attachment, you cannot really get rid of it. You cannot get rid of anything. But you may experience that you are less resistance even to the attachment. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sometimes you may experience that in situations that you had attachments, you are not experiencing attachment. But in the moment you say to yourself, oh, now I am not experiencing the attachment that I had, you're constructing a self that is not there. So
Oh, right,
it's,
right,
you see,
right. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Very
so it's
interesting.
not really important. It's like nothing is really important, but everything is still divine. I don't know how
Yeah,
to.
yeah. That's very good, Anton. Thank you so much. That
Yeah.
was a really good tip for
Thank
clarity.
you.
Thank you.
So just to paraphrase that and make it really clear, what Anton was talking about was, he used the word meditation. He called it meditation. Wasn't to achieve anything. It was something that when he did it, allowed how to put it. I like the idea of it. It may not open the door, but it clears the room
Mm-hmm.
as a concept, as an analogy, a way to put it. Yeah. So, but when you were saying maybe I should do this, you were talking about it as a job, that will achieve something, and so that's not appropriate. That just creates resistance if you're going to do it in order to have a specific outcome. The other thing that Anton referred to was as you see through things, as things get clearer for you, that that how can I put it, creates space for more stuff to come up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important for you to appreciate that you can't go backwards. You're not going to go, you don't get something and then lose it. If you get something, then what appears to be a loss of that is just a story that gets added to more stuff that comes up.
Mm.
Right? So you'll be making space and stuff will come up because of it. And that stuff is habits, old conditioning that will show itself when there is opportunity for it to show itself. But each
Mm-hmm.
time it shows itself and you see it,
Mm-hmm.
it will thin out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, uh, gotta catch it while it's a baby. so to speak.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
if I don't, then I'm going in with the train of the mind, and I'll get stories upon stories upon stories upon stories. So catch it as it appears, as a baby, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But that happens or not. So
Hmm.
sometimes you won't catch it, and it will, and you'll get carried away by the train of that.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, you'll realize. And at
Hmm.
that point, the moment you realize, it will change.
Hmm.
I would even say that it's much better to not put your attention to the moments that you went with the train of thought and then, oh, I need to go back. To put your attention more on the fact that saying that, oh, I should had not. Like it's more, uh, I find it's more helpful to not shoot yourself. Like I should to not, I should to this, because you have no control really, and it's just creating more like judgmental, like yeah,
Yeah.
conversation with yourself. It will not
Yeah.
help, and
Mm,
this is
Yeah.
like something that everyone experiencing in that
yeah,
process. I think I should had yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
and there is no shoulds.
I would even go as far as the opposite of that. The moment that you see that you were caught,
Hmm.
you celebrate the fact that you saw it.
Oh,
It's a big deal. Yeah. Definitely
yeah.
no judgment. Judgment is only resistance.
Right. I could celebrate the fact that, oh, I caught it.
Yes, that's it. Yep. And it will happen sooner next time because of that. Or or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're also recognizing we don't have control. Things happen. Oh, that got you, didn't it?
Well, yes and no. I mean, well, actually, I want to give others a chance to speak. I don't want to take the whole satsang just by me speaking. So I'll be happy to speak, but only after other people can get a chance to speak, if they want to.
You
If
don't
not,
need to be
I'll
polite
always
here.
speak up.
If others will speak when they want to, they'll jump in for sure. No worries. No need to be polite.
Okay. In that case, you said you explained to me, and I clearly saw about there is no control. But on the other hand, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm still struggling with this because if there's no control, then what am I, a robot? Oh man, really? I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
there's gotta be something.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Why? Why do you have to be something? Only the mind says that. Well,
Because,
you probably are something, but who knows? It's a mystery.
but if there's no control, absolutely no control whatsoever, then am I just a walking robot with
No.
nothing to do?
All right. All right. Let's say there is control,
Sounds a little bit
but
like,
not your consciousness, your brain
wait,
responds.
wait, just when usually when I hear, oh, there's nothing to do, you don't control anything, you don't exist, then that brings me to the neo Advaita bullshit guys who tell you there's nothing to do, you don't exist, there's no control, there's no world, there's no you, there's no nothing. But how does that help you in life? But
That's
go ahead.
that's nihilistic.
Yeah.
That's
So
not true. That's not true either.
So if there is no control, please, Vince, tell me, if there is absolutely zero control, then what am I? Just a robot following whatever programs appearing?
You are what you've always been.
And what's that?
Not something new. Well, I don't know. You are as close as I could get to it is that you are your experiencing, your current experiencing. But to say you are anything, it's why bother? Right? It's
I
a
want to hear,
it's a useless question.
well, I wanted you to say something like, oh, I I wanted to hear something like, you are that which is seeing, because we know seeing is happening, right? I mean, thoughts are being aware of, feelings are being aware of.
Yep.
I thought you were going to say, oh, you are that which is aware. You know?
All right. What about you are that which is aware of being aware?
I don't understand that concept.
No. Well, I don't understand what you are or what I am. It's beyond the ability of this puny brain to know that. Maybe it belongs in the realm of quantum mechanics. I don't know.
So you don't see yourself as awareness? I mean, that's
No.
in the duality world.
I
People say,
experience being aware, but I experience a lot of things besides being aware. So am I any of those? I experience myself having a shit. Am I having a shit? Is that what I am?
oh, but you are aware of that. You are aware of taking a shit.
But I'm also aware that I'm aware of it.
We can try to speak about it from another perspective. The control or no control is concept. This one is a concept, and the other one is a concept. But you
Wait,
prefer
you
to
said,
be,
wait, wait,
yes,
wait. You said canceled?
Concept.
Oh,
concept.
concept.
Sorry
Sorry.
for
Okay,
my
okay.
English here.
No, no, no,
Okay,
perfect. Just this word.
so yeah, so but I assume that you prefer to be in flow, right? Where everything is flowing, when there is no stops to your existence, like to stop to think, to do this or to do that. You like to be in a flow, to feel smooth, yeah? Like
Yeah.
life is, but when you see a flow of a river, is there something controlling it, or it just flowing? It's
Flowing.
nature. It's
Yeah.
nature, yeah? And everything in nature is like this, is flowing, is, yeah, you have stuff that is starting, then it's ending, everything is coming to being, and then it's dying, and everything is flowing like this.
Yeah,
So
but that brings me, but that,
nature,
yeah,
yes, yes, yes,
but that,
continue.
but that brings me again to the trap of, well, okay, you gave the river as an analogy, right? You said the river is just flowing, right? It's part of nature.
It's, yeah, it's all nature is like this. It's like the
Perfect.
river.
Yeah, yeah,
Everything
perfect.
is like this.
But
Yes.
but here comes the kicker. See, uh, a lot of stuff in nature, such as the river, they don't really have any control if, let's say, me and you, we go now, we go stand by the river, we start throwing stones into the river. The river can't do anything. right?
It's not suffering from that as well.
Yeah, I know it's
It's
a
just
silly analogy,
it
but
just
for the sake of
continue to flow.
it doesn't feel anything. Of course, it's not a human being
You
or an
don't know
animal.
what it feels or not, but it's not in it's it's not in a mode of good or not good.
I understand.
Everything for it is always good.
I understand,
This is
but
how
I am not
you
a
know.
river, and so are you. I mean, if I'm just using this as an
I
analogy, if somebody threw stones at us, we wouldn't say, "Oh, okay, this is just part of nature." You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yes, but always animals, if you attack them, they can attack you back. But it's part
Yeah,
of nature. It's
yeah.
also part of nature. It's also flowing. Like if someone will come and give you a slap, you may give him twice a slap.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's not that you're controlling this. This is a thought arose, instinct reaction. Everything's fine. It's also part of nature.
Mm.
You have animals eating other animals. As you live, you have your physical body have to kill uh, all sorts of bacteria inside all the time to stay
Hmm.
alive.
Yeah.
It's all life. So it's all included. So you don't have to think about, do I have control or I do not have control. It will not change really anything, but you may experience yourself as a flow where you don't need to all the time choose and think and how it should be and how it not should be, if you understand that it's all coming from one source that it's doing everything. So there is not many controllers. There is only one source that it's doing everything, and it's not really doing it by control. It's doing everything by flowing, by living. And you is this, I am, it's all only this. So it's not really a source because this is it. This is me speaking right now. It's the flow. You listening, there is no separation really. And the feeling of separation, this is as well the feeling of control. When you do not feel separate, you will not have a feeling that you're controlling anything. It's the same. It comes together. If you feel separate, you feel that you have to control, that you have to survive, that you have to win,
Oh.
to lose, to go there, to do that. But if you are not separate, there is no control and there is no need to control anything.
Ah, great, good point. Great point.
And that smell fluctuates sometimes. Yeah, you will feel
Yeah.
sometimes that you experience a need to control, and in other occasions you will feel in a flow.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that's a great point. What you said about separation and the need for control comes from mostly from
from fear,
fear from
from
yeah,
from fear,
yeah,
yeah, to the need to survive, the need
yeah, yeah.
to be
Yep.
good, the need to achieve, the need to be
We need to
healthy, the need
survive. It's basically
for
comes down to
love.
survival.
Yes, yes, it's all fear. Otherwise, why to control?
Exactly,
It's good
fear.
anyway.
Fear of not surviving.
Yep. The other thing to appreciate here, Shay, is a really big one is your question was a question in an attempt to satisfy the mind.
Hmm.
And that will never happen. The mind is never satisfied. As soon as
Even
you,
if even if I give the mind the
yeah,
most fantastic answers, it'll never be satisfied. It's like,
as soon as you give it that answer, it's on to the next question. It
mm,
never rests.
mm, Never
right?
rests. Huh?
Yep. So how I would describe it, the river, the analogy of the flow is the thing. So discovering that recognition that you're not separate is something that will happen for you. It's not going to be a mental thing. It's going to be a recognition, a discovery that you are
Mm.
and everything else is you and you are everything else. That will happen for you. That's a future, probably a future thing. Yeah.
Ah,
But you can satisfy the mind to some degree by saying conditions cause things to happen,
uh-huh.
right? So it's
Right.
a Buddhist concept of something conditions arising. I forget what the terminology is, but anyway, it's something that we've mentioned before a little bit for you. But right, let's say the river's going to flow because of gravity. Right, it flows downhill towards the sea. Is always downhill, and it's going to flow differently when there's floodwaters than it is when it's been dry for a long time. It's going to flow differently when stuff gets in the road and it has to go around it. If somebody drops a big boulder into the middle of it, the water has to flow around it, so it flows differently, but it flows. It
Yeah.
all arises due to cause and conditions. Yes, conditions. So conditions happen. Now, any happening has conditions, and all of the conditions that happening has, those conditions themselves have their own conditions, and those conditions have their own conditions.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact that you're able to sit here and talk to us relies on a whole lot of conditions. A, that you have the time, that you're not at work, that you have a computer, that you have the ability to talk English, that we can communicate with each other, that that we have the internet. All of these conditions, and every one of those, as you can see, has their own conditions, and every one of those conditions have their own conditions. And in fact, there's no end to that. It goes
Yeah.
on. If your great, 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 great grandparents didn't have sex when they did, you wouldn't be here now, right? They're conditions.
Yep.
And they not only had to have sex, but they had to have food, and the conditions for their food to grow was also dependent on conditions. If there was
Yep.
a if there was a drought at the time, maybe they wouldn't have had something to eat, and then they wouldn't have had sex, so you still wouldn't be here. Who knows?
Yep.
You know, there's no end to
Right.
the conditions involved, but that's what happenings. So again, we're not concerned with the actual details, right? So the idea that if there is no control, that doesn't mean that you're out of control.
Whoa. That. Yeah. That's
Just-
that's
Yes.
that's what I fear. Oh my God, I'm gonna be out of control. You know.
No, no, not at all. It's just that you never had control. It was always an illusion.
Uh,
So if we stop giving that illusion credibility, the ramifications for that spread out. All of a sudden, you can't be a failure anymore, but neither can you take credit for a success. That's also
right.
just a happening.
Right. 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 Right.
And life gets a lot easier. There's no suffering if you're not a failure or a success, if you're not in
Right.
control. The
Right.
ramifications are huge.
Right. Get it. Honest Gav, it wasn't me.
That's an English saying. He should have put quotes around that. He's saying, "Honest, Gov, it wasn't me. It's not my fault."
Oh. I'm gonna turn off the heat.
So you're turning the heat off and Jeremy's got the fire going in the background. Mm,
We're all in one space. Yeah, so
yeah.
this is why he needed to turn the heat off, because there is heat coming from Jeremy. So
Yeah. Yeah. So you're in a really lucky situation tonight, Shave. You've got Anton, you've got Rod, you've got Jeremy, and Jed. Everybody here's got considerable experience. Combined, we've got huge experience with this stuff. So your questions are very welcome. You know, we're all here for you. Go for it.
Thank you. It's
And
you know,
different
you,
perspectives as well. Yeah.
you said tonight, it's tonight for you, but for me it's noon. For me and Anton, it's noon.
Right.
And for me, it's 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, really? Where are you from, Jeremy?
The United States, Minnesota.
Oh, wow. 5 o'clock in the morning?
That's right.
Funny how that works.
And Rod's in Merry England. Anand, I'm not sure where Anand is. Probably India, would be my guess.
Oh, Rod says it's 11:27 where he's at.
Yes. So he must be 10 hours earlier than me then. Yeah. No, 11 hours. Yeah. Mm, mm, mm.
I will raise a subject that I had an like experiment, let's say, in the last 2 weeks. I usually not socializing like too much, almost not. So, and I tried to go. It's something that I really loved and I enjoyed in the first time that I did. I went to a contact dance. It's like improvisation of movement with other people, and you touch each other, and it's everything like flow. I liked it, and but there is a part of sharing in the and in the first day that I went, I experienced like it's all, there is no fat, it's just movement and everything flows, and it's all the people and the room. It all was for me like one space. And it was a beautiful experience, and everyone shared their experiences. And I had so and I shared mine, and it was pretty different. and like it rose some, yeah, like people that is like, look, oh, maybe I don't know, it felt weird, like people don't understand this, and it's like it felt weird. And then the next time that I came, it was not so nice experience. Like people like it was not it's not really the subject. What I want to, if you would like to share, is how do you socialize? Because it's like I usually, when I speak on a more intimate level with people, not just practicality, I had to, there is like a feeling that I'm speaking
You could use
with a
Siri on
child,
Apple CarPlay.
Sorry.
and I need to adjust my speech to their level of understanding, Otherwise, it will be just like strange, and they will not understand, or they would understand it like this, which I experienced a lot. So, and it not it feeling not so authentic. So, and I do not like it. So it's I'm not socializing, but as a human being, I have some tendencies to yeah, like for connection, like all of us.
Mm.
And now that I'm not in a relationship, I'm a bit more, let's say, open to a bit more socializing, but I don't want it to be weird. Yeah. So, yeah, your experience on that subject,
Mm.
if you would like to share.
Sure. Yeah, I have an experience from just last night. Last night there was my wife and I were invited to a street party. So it was over the road for drinks at 5 p.m. and drinks and nibbles, and other neighbours and friends of the people who threw the party were there. Probably about maybe 10 couples of people were there. So maybe 20 people were there. I found myself sitting in a seat by myself. I was uninterested in striking up a conversation for the sake of conversation. I found myself uninterested in going up to somebody and saying, "What do you do? Where do you work? How do you fill your life?" Right? Whatever. Had no interest in that. So I was just sitting there by myself. Now I had the experience of remembering that many years ago I would have been feeling very lonely and out of it doing that. But this time I didn't. I was quite happy sitting there by myself. And then somebody would come up to me. It happened twice. Two different people came up to me and sat beside me and asked me, literally said, "How do you fill your time? What do you do?" They asked me. And my response was, "Well, I play golf and I play bowls and I go for walks with the dog, and that's about as far as I got." But I said, "Well, what about you?" And they told me all about themselves, what they did and this and that and everything else. And then they went away. And then somebody else came up, and my wife said, "Oh, you look lonely sitting over there by yourself." And I had to say, well, I was quite happy doing that. It didn't feel weird for me. And I don't know how it felt for the other people. The people that came up to me, did they come up to me because they were genuinely interested? Or were they taking pity on me, looking like I was lonely? Or I have no idea why. But I was quite happy to chat with them mostly about them, what happened. And I was interested in what they were doing, but when they went, that was it. It was finished. I couldn't even tell you their names now. I don't remember their names. So I relate to what you say, but for me it didn't feel weird. But I could easily see that others could see
Yeah,
it as,
that's
yeah,
because you did not share anything intimate from your own experience. But if you will have a conversation with someone more close, let's say, or where the connection is more authentic, I don't know, you cannot all the time only speak about them or about practicalities. And
yeah,
the experience of life is different in a way. So
yeah.
how
Well, one thing I recognised was that when I talked about what I did share stuff with them. I shared about sailing with one man. I shared about golf with another man because that's what we had in common. But I didn't mention these groups. So when people ask me, I avoid mentioning these groups because I wouldn't know how to explain that to them. If I said, "Oh, we have these groups about waking up," they wouldn't know what I'm talking about. They'd think I was talking about waking up in the morning. Or if I said, "Oh, I have these groups about enlightenment," they'd go, "Oh, yeah, that's a bit weird." So I just don't mention these groups. So in a way, am I being inauthentic? I don't know.
I had a thought afterwards, after I went there and shared my experience, that I could share
on your car after connecting in.
like some kind of in the same time I had those experiences that you may call spiritual, and I had also physical experience. So I could like theoretically speak about the regular stuff. Yeah, I had a sensation here, and I had but I'm not really interested in that. So it's like it's a bit not authentic if I was doing that.
Yeah.
But yes, but like when I shared what I shared, it a bit constructed a spiritual self, yeah, like different from others, and it's not comfortable. It's not feeling good.
Mm. It's a tricky one. It is definitely a tricky one. Most of
Well,
my
you were,
interaction during the day is about what is happening now. Like when I get home from golf and my wife says, how's so and so's wife? I don't know. I didn't talk about that. We talked about golf. We were playing golf. We talked about golf. Right? So it's like I mostly interact with people about what is going on in the present. Yeah. Sorry, Jeremy. Okay.
oh, I'm fine. What both of you are saying is really resonating. I was at a get together at a bar a couple nights ago with a bunch of former coworkers, people that I worked with at the last job that I was at, and uh, I realize now that the conversation, or two things, and just in general for me, that I much more appreciate one-on-one conversations with people because I typically get into more vulnerable topics, um, where things are less surface level. What are you doing? What is your family doing? Or what have they been doing? What have you been up to? That kind of stuff, but more, uh, I don't know, emotional. And I think I already said vulnerable, but that's what it feels like. They're willing to open up more. Um, and I I realized that the conversation that I most appreciated from that night, as I was leaving, there was one woman that I didn't get a chance to talk to up until then, and I was saying goodbye, and she stood up and um, she'd asked me how I was doing, and because I was leaving, I was pretty brief about it, and I said, "How are you?" Um, and she's like, I'm really in a funk. I'm having a hard time right now, and just fighting to get out of it." And I immediately forgot about leaving and started asking her questions. We probably ended up talking for 20 minutes. Um, and I think it was because I feel a much deeper connection with people when you get off of the surface about like what are you doing, or depending on how well I know somebody, but when it gets below the uh, what are
Yeah.
all of the activities that you and your friends and family have been doing, and like how I think there's a lot of jokes about how the superficial, hey, how are you? Good. How are you? Good. Like I used to kind of chuckle and joke and not really like that small talk. How are you? But now I like I appreciate the how are you when it's taken very seriously, and they're willing to open up and share, and we can talk more deeply about what's going on. Similar to the, I guess I just realized right now that it's not unlike conversations that you open up here, Vince, where you'll call on someone and ask, how what's going on for you, and they open up, and you
Mm.
and you really dig into what's what are you experiencing, and what is that like, and how is it. It rarely gets into the awakening sort of awakening sort of topics, but it's not. There are times where that has happened for me, um,
Mm.
particularly if something comes up where um, I end up talking about how when I was um, really depressed uh, several years ago, that was kind of like the beginning of the biggest shift for me. When that comes up, I try to find a way to talk about it, and that really kicks that that sends us way down rabbit holes that are difficult for me to articulate to somebody who's not been in the
Mm.
uh, I guess down similar rabbit holes of this type of topic. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess what you were saying was resonating, and thought I'd share mine.
Yeah, yeah, wow, I must say that brought to my attention that I rarely get off the surface level with people at a social level. Pretty rare, yeah.
And is it that like you don't like dancing on the surface, and so you tend to just stay out of it, and you're perfectly content just
Yeah,
sitting on the side and
absolutely, yes.
watching?
Yeah. I don't mind operating at the surface level. That happens, and I generally can do that okay. Um, but I'm also happy to not do it. I don't seek it out. If it happens, it happens. Yeah. But it would be different. Like from what you were saying, Anton, it sounded like that you were exposing yourself at deeper than the surface level with the whole group, and that's where it would no doubt would feel a bit weird. You'd be getting,
Yeah,
yeah,
yes, because it was a vibe of like a group that have some connection to like new age, like spirituality, also meditations and stuff like this. But it's not. It's so I felt as if I can be just myself and be authentic, and it felt weird after I ended. So uh, yeah.
yeah. What about you, Jed? Do you find that how often do you interact with somebody deeper than the surface level? I guess it's different with your partner than with others. But you live in a a spiritual community, would you say?
It's not really spiritual, no. It's more of an eco community.
Eco, right.
Yeah.
Mm.
But there are some very deeply spiritual people here. It's kind of not the focus of the project. But yeah, yeah, I've got a few people who I can go there with. I'm just meeting a guy this evening who yeah, he's big into awakening. But then I also quite like just, I run this open mic in a pub and on my care homes, and it's just about having fun and um, connecting with people in a very light, playful way. And I love that too, personally.
Mm. That's also though interesting in that light and playful way is an opportunity to be authentic
Mm.
at the same time. It's not a pretend superficiality, is it?
Mm. Yeah, it's been a big theme for me actually over the years of the authenticity thing. It doesn't feel such a thing now, but for a while I used to have this tension around, not wanting to smile at people when I just bumped into them in the corridor if I didn't feel happy, and and it seemed like a real difficult thing to kind of get to feel okay for me, whichever way I went with it.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I mean, a smile can be an invitation to talk as well,
yeah,
or it can be, or is it that it seems like a pretense to you when you're not feeling smiley?
yeah. I think what I'm remembering now is something like at one point seeing it as a. I mean, I went through various ways of seeing it, and I think there's something now about I still do some peer to peer kind of therapy stuff, and I think since I do that and I get to kind of let emotional stuff come out that if it feels like it needs to come out, I think there was a part of me that wanted to be seen in my however I was. So if I was feeling, let's say, sad, I didn't want to hide that because I felt like there was something, I don't know. I wanted to be seen. I wanted my sadness to be seen
Mm.
for some bit of processing, maybe, or something like that. Um, Now I kind of think I don't need anything from whoever I bump into in the street or in the corridor. Um, so just kind of keep it easy and flowy, and I don't, it's, then other times I thought, oh, I'm trying to people please, I'm trying to make them happy, I'm trying to look after them, all that stuff. And maybe there is a bit of that, but I kind of think that's okay,
Mm.
I don't want to put a drag on somebody's day. It doesn't mean I have to please them, but it just seems to keep things smooth and
Mm. Yeah, I get that. That sounds fine. Yeah.
but I do, I suppose, as I'm thinking about it now, in this community where I live, it is a little bit more intense than other, just living in your own house types of situation that I've lived in. And so whenever I just go to the car or go to put the recycling out or anything, I'm likely to bump into somebody. And so
Mm.
if I don't, if I am not feeling like smiling and I might be looking grumpy, and then afterwards I do have a bit of, feelings about, oh, what have I done to them? What have I,
Mm.
how has that affected them? And, it doesn't hang around loads. It does not like a big problem for me, but I do have those consequences.
Chad, you just helped me. I had like an aha that the degree to which someone else is trying to solidify and defend a boundary between me and like uh project how I don't know, proud, or they want me to view this difference between us in a very respected or in a particular light. So the degree to which they are trying to separate themselves
Hmm.
is what affects how much of a connection I feel in that relationship or conversation,
Hmm.
versus if they're going the opposite direction and they're willing to just tear it down and bear all and be vulnerable and share anything. um, I feel a deep connection and enjoy that conversation a lot more.
I really resonate with that, but isn't it so rare? Or it's not in your experience? Maybe it's my experience.
It's very
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
rare.
often heard you
rare in my
speaking, Jeremy.
yeah.
Go on, Vince.
That's all I was going to say. Most of the people that I meet, some neighbours. I realised at the party last night that there are neighbours that I haven't met that just live a few doors away from me. Um, but I meet people when we walk the dog. We frequently meet people that we stop and have a few moments of conversation with. But it's always superficial. But they're always happy. So there's not that. There's neither is there a raging ego that wants to feel superior to me, or a deep opening. It's just, we talk about the weather, we talk about the dogs, we talk about whatever. It's pretty superficial, but at a pleasant level. Yeah, that's the most common thing.
Yeah, and there can be something quite connecting in just that. I think I guess that's
Mm,
what's good about it. That it's just a smiling face, a friendly face.
mm,
But I was going to say, Jeremy, I find quite, yeah, I'm intrigued by the level of vulnerability that you talk about in your interactions, that you seem to bring. Um, um, and I think I've got a bit of a question around, is there a kind of, is there a belief behind that this is good, beneficial for you or other people, or is it just what happens?
Yeah, I think it'd be lying if I said there wasn't a belief, that there wasn't a, a strong preference for it, versus just letting it happen. I probably pursue or try to nudge conversations in that direction if I feel an opening.
Mm.
And I think it's because I just thought that I probably have a desire to share, and I'm looking for opportunities to do that. I want to be vulnerable and open because I like the feeling of connecting with people on that level more than I do the superficial connections. I'm less interested in talking about what I do for work or what I did last week or something that happened a month ago, depending on how long it's been since I've talked to somebody. And I really like the feeling, the physical feelings of connecting with somebody else on an emotional. That's probably the most common place that I'll get to with someone else is talking about awakening, and the sorts of things that we talk about here almost never happens. But talking about emotions is much more relatable and common with people. So that's where I'll often get to.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a belief that it's better. There's a belief that there's a stronger connection there between me and somebody else.
So everybody can relate to being authentic, can't they? If we, we could be a bit intrusive going straight there with somebody, but if the opportunity arises, everybody can relate to that. Yeah. So Shay, why are these people talking about this stuff? What are your thoughts? What's going on for you when we're talking about being authentic and our relationship with other people? Do you get how that fits in with this stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I uh, with with I would say 99% of people like which I encounter in daily life or with friends and family, I cannot speak about this stuff of awakening. So, um, you know, what can I say? I can, what am I gonna say? 99% of people, I would say that I encounter, I cannot speak about awakening and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what comes to mind is that what we're talking about is being authentic with ourselves, which is essentially, although it's not been spoken about, recognizing our bodily reactions to what goes on and being true to them, so to speak.
Mhm.
Whereas before awakening, we we were always on the stage, always play acting something.
Yeah, it feels like, felt like, past tense. Like, I always had to put a mask, like, to be some character.
Yeah,
And I never really liked it. I don't think anybody likes it actually, but most people think, well, that's the way it is. That's
yeah,
reality.
exactly. Mm.
Especially nowadays, with social media, uh, a lot of people are, posting pictures or videos of themselves trying to look a certain way. But if you know these people in person, you know that they have many problems. They just don't show it on social media. On social media
Yeah.
creates the illusion that everything is sweet and perfect and everybody's happy. Not many people show their not so happy moments on social media.
Yeah, yep. Even people on Zoom when they have a picture of themselves, it's usually a much younger picture.
Yeah. So you're saying we are interested, being more interested in the bodily reactions, exploring our own bodily reactions to stuff.
Yeah. Well, that includes the so here's jumping a little bit, but that bodily reaction includes the stories that come up.
Hmm.
So let's just say our reactions too. So the reactions can be at all levels, but recognizing that the body doesn't lie and the mind will.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. The mind can say, "Oh, I feel great being around here."
Yeah,
Not here specifically, but in a social encounter. I'm going to a social encounter. The mind can say, "Oh yeah, I feel really good being here," but inside the body, you feel like, you know, I feel
yeah.
like I have to put a mask. I have to pretend to be someone else. There's nobody here. I can talk about what we're talking about here, and it's kind of boring, sometimes, oftentimes.
So learning to recognize what's going on inside us, that's what I call authenticity. So it's valuable, very valuable to be authentic with ourselves. But often it's not appropriate to display that in whatever social circumstances we are. Right. So if I recognize what's actually going on for me, and yet I respond by saying, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good, even if I'm not, that's okay sometimes. It's because of the fact that I'm not hiding it from myself,
Hmm.
recognizing it just may be not appropriate to put it out there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And as you were speaking right now, something came up. You have explained to me that all we got to do is recognize, and that's it, not try to make effort to change something. But for me, I'm always like, it's a pattern in which I always want to do something, fix, change, fix, change. I guess that's part of also the illusion of the separate self, in my case.
Well, let's look at it from another angle. It's the way you were brainwashed
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
conditioned. Brainwashing is a pretty brutal term, but conditioned to be that way, and that's normal, very normal, isn't it?
Yeah, because in Western society, they always tell you, you got to be a better you. You got to
I,
be a better
I
version of
yeah,
yourself.
I had to laugh. I was talking with my wife this morning after she got off the phone to our daughter, and our daughter just got the report card from our grandson who is 16 and at high school. And on his report card, the teacher wrote exactly what my teacher wrote on my report card 60 years ago. But I could do better if I tried harder. And this is the same thing that she wrote on my grandson's report card. He could do better if he tried harder. Oh God, I couldn't believe it. Now, isn't that the illusion of control?
Kind of, yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
There's
It
something
is.
kind of alive for me around this at the moment, which is you know, devotional practice. Um, I mean, it's a bit different for me at the moment. I've done a lot of meditation over the years. Now I'm feeling like I want to do, um, I don't know, being in a being in a mode of appreciation, or um, being in a mode of noticing the divine, or you know, whatever that kind of stuff. Um, and you know, it's just arisen. I guess you know, if I've not picked the intention out of a basket, that kind of thing. But in a way, I still kind of struggle with this. It doesn't feel like a doing, but it feels like it. You know, it's a thing I'm gonna do. I am doing. You know, I'm. It's happening, and I mean, I don't know. It might just be today, and it might stop
Excuse me,
tomorrow, and I'm not.
Ged,
I'm not
can I,
gonna.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You said you want to do devotional practice. You mean like karma yoga or bhakti yoga and stuff like that? That's what you
I
mean,
guess it would
devotional
be.
practice?
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
something a
Okay.
bit like bhakti.
Bhakti. Okay. That, yeah. Just
Yeah.
wanted to understand what you were referring to when you said devotional.
Yeah. And you know, I've got these fantasies now of spending the day in a devotional state, and it just feels so nice to be in that. Um, I don't know what'll happen.
Right. So do you know where the desire for that came from?
Yeah, I was listening to a guy. He
Right.
was a
And he
disciple of.
inspired you, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And when you felt inspired, were you not in a devotional state?
yeah. Exactly,
Yeah. Yeah. So it just happened, you know?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. And if you trace it back, how you ended up listening to him was also just a happening. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, I get that everything's caused by things that you know,
yeah, yeah.
not
So
my
so
doing.
it's so it doesn't require doing for it to happen. But the fact that you were inspired, the fact that you enjoyed it, that you felt it felt good for you, that attracts it. And there are so many opportunities all day, every day. Just watch the news, and boy, don't you feel lucky? Don't you feel in a fantastic place? Yeah. And you walk around and you go, wow, look at this. I've got food on the table. I got a house I live in. I've got, so many things give you this feeling of being really, really lucky, which is kind of the doorway, the threshold into that divine feeling, isn't it? It's just magical.
I think there's something about that. Yeah, maybe it's a kind probably a false dichotomy, but I have on the one hand the idea that there's just living life and just getting on with stuff, and on the other hand there is having these different attitudes, or more no present, grateful, whatever, and that is more. I don't know that these things are valuable for my being, whether I could call it spiritualness, but I'll
Mm.
just call it being. Um, and I don't know. Sometimes it seems like there's a sense
Yeah,
in me of
I'm
that when
sensing a bit
I
of separation there.
yeah, that there's a you can't do anything, and there's a but you can be in these more beautiful states.
Hmm.
Um, I don't quite know how to put it into words. Do you know what I'm kind of trying to? Does it? You getting a sense of
Well,
what I'm meaning?
I have a reaction to it, but I imagine I know what you're saying. Yeah, and what? But anyway, let's try it. What comes up for me is that the possibility that you're not allowing you're not allowing is none of these words work right, but you're something is in the road of the appreciation that you are all of these things. They're not happening to you. They are you. That's that. That's that lack of separation, lack of distance between you and them. They're not happening to you. They're not outside and you're in it. They are an expression of you.
And I guess it just kind of happens anyway when I'm not in more of a left brain mode.
Mm. Yeah, it's just
But
there's
there's
not appreciation of it then
yeah,
when
there's
you
something about I think of having the idea, the 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 framing of it, in this, whether it's devotional or gratitude,
mm.
that I don't know what role that has. Maybe it's just a step and then that dissolves or something. But it's not necessary.
I can share that I really love Sufism. Like I'm listening a lot to Rumi, Hafiz, Kabir, and on the same, and it's like a mood. It's the same, but it brings also the emotional realm to the table.
Mm.
It's like it's like you can feel that everything that is happening is is you uh, in a way creating it, like it's all come from you. And this is jnana, like the knowing. Or you can say that it's all come from God and you as well, and it's the same, and it's bhakti, but it's really the same because it's only one source. So it can be you, or, or it can be God, but it's still one. I enjoy some time listening, and yeah, there is tears and crying and like surrender to God. And on other occasions, I feel it's all me, and other occasions I feel separated. But like the difference is not really. It's all one, but the if someone is like connected yet more to the to feelings, to crying, to say, yet to like to feel everything through feelings. Through there are people that are more prone to that, and people that are less. And so I think it's not a problem to have both. This is what I experience.
Mm.
Like when I want to listen to Rumi, I listen to Rumi, and when I want to listen to Dzogchen and there is nothing and only this, I listen to Dzogchen, and it's the same. but Sufism can bring me more to those states when I cry, and like it's different.
Yeah.
What just
It
came
is
to
a,
mind for me was
there you go.
Vince, we have the same pause duration. Go ahead.
There you go.
Chad, what you were describing again, helped me realize that I guess part of me has a belief that the more I am surrendering, accepting whatever is in my experience in the moment, the better. Like that's a state of being that I pursue. It's just like being okay with whatever is happening and arising in my experience right now. And it is much more accessible when I am in a state of gratitude and appreciation. And it's a lot harder when what is coming up is resistance and wanting to change something about my experience and wanting to control, and like when there is that impulse to fix or change, half of that is resistance to what's there, and I'm trying to change it. And it is harder for me to shift into accepting the resistance, accepting that what's coming up is a desire to change. It's harder to do that. And I don't know if I have if this path for me has evolved enough to be able to accept everything that's arising, including the desire, the pushing away from things that my conditioning doesn't like, or the resistance to
So
things.
close. You're so close. Yeah.
Mhm.
Look, oh guys, I just lift the cover up and look underneath, and you'll see you are God. You are nature. You are everything. And it's not happening to you. It just happens. It's all in there. Yeah. I mean, I recognize this as a major social taboo to say, I am God. As God is everything and everybody. And there is no separation. And whatever experience happens here, whether that involves other people or other things or any experience, it's all included. It's all just part of. Nothing, there's no right or wrong experience. I don't have to change anything to recognize. It's all included. Everything's included. There's nothing excluded. We we recently last week we had a massacre here in Australia, and these two people went to Manila and trained with ISIS and came back and shot up a Jewish celebration of Hanukkah. And they killed 21 people. They did. This was the first mass shooting we've had in Australia for years, like that. And I was really inspired to write a song, and I have written a song that I just keep listening to, and I love it. And it basically said, there is no evil in the human soul. There's just those out of balance. That's all there is. It's all a mental health issue, not a criminal issue. The whole thing is just that there are so many people in the world are out of balance because of their conditioning. And we're not going to fix it with punishment. So I'm one of those people that Anton talks about that's predisposed to crying a lot. I get very emotional about this stuff. And it feels great. It feels lovely. I feel so good about it. Mm. I want you to know that you are God too. You are everything. Everything that's ever happened led to you, and you are everything. You are part of everything of everybody else. We're all together. Yeah. I'm watching this show on Apple TV at the moment. It's bloody hell, it only comes out once a week, for the new episode called Pluribus. And it's really, really interesting in that some alien infection has turned up and everybody in the world shares all of the knowledge and experience of everybody else in the world, except for six people. I think it's six people. Right, but the story follows one person who didn't get infected and so on. But the experience, everybody else talks about we, not I, anymore, and they all know what everybody else knows, and there is just this amazing connection between everybody, and all of a sudden. There's no more crime. There's no, all sorts of wonderful things have happened as a result of this. And the woman that's not affected, she goes, this we've it's wrong. We've got to fix it. We've got to undo this problem that's turned up. We've got to be because you're all slaves, and yet they're not. They're It's an amazing to just think about how everybody can share all of that kind of stuff is like, wow, that is so close to a reality, I don't know if the producers of this show realize what they're doing, but it's wonderful, the whole conceptual nature of it. Yeah, everybody knows what everybody else has ever experienced, whatever knows. Anybody has the ability to be a surgeon or a pilot or whatever, and they just know everything as a result of sharing this whatever. Yeah. It's, and it's kind of close to reality in a way, except that everybody believes they're separate. And so they don't share. But if they realize that they're not separate, then you start to invite in other people's experience. It just becomes, oh, yeah. Anyway, I'll get down off my soapbox.
Just to say that I really enjoyed your sharing right now, Vince. And I'm really grateful for those meetings.
Yeah, me too. I'm really super grateful to them. Without these meetings, I probably wouldn't experience the intensity of this that I do. It's great. Yeah, thank you. Mm. And it's interesting that I can imagine the- I want the whole world to wake up, but I have no desire to wake anybody up. I'm really, it's a weird one. I am so grateful for the opportunity when somebody wants to wake up to do that, but I have no, like, once upon a time I would push it on anybody and everybody, any opportunity. Now I have no interest in pushing it on somebody if they don't show an interest in it. So it's kind of a weird paradox, you know. I want the whole world to wake up. I think the world would be a fantastic place. Well, it's already a fantastic place, but it would be a different experience for so many people if everybody woke up. But it will happen in its own time or not. So that's also fine. Yeah.
Yes, usually when I sometimes think about it, like how it's all works, like the world, the people, the animals, the nature, this awakening phenomena that can happen. It's so, I just understand that I cannot think about it. It's too amazing, too, and it's already like nothing should happen, needs to happen. It's all, it's real. You cannot really think about it. So I think about it and then I understand, okay, I cannot think about it. So I stop thinking and then I see it, how it is.
Yeah. When we think about everybody waking up or whatever, you think, well, back when I first started seeking, wow, it was about 1967. and back then, I didn't know of anybody that was woken up except a few Indian gurus around the place, and maybe Alan Watts, and that was about it. Yeah. Now there's people everywhere. That's it's happening. It's happening. It's just not as big in my own personal sphere as.
Yeah, I had thoughts about creating a YouTube channel, and one of the things that I thought that it's like a pop singer today, so it's not so. I will not be special anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
why
Yeah.
bother?
Mm.
Vince, did you meet Sailor Bob? Because I know Sailor Bob is also in Australia, although
Yeah.
Australia is huge, so I don't know how close he was to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm about 1,200 kilometres away from where he was. But yes, so I was when I woke up in 2011. My wife was looking after her sister who was dying with breast cancer at the time, and so she was looking after her for about 2 years, and that was in the same town as Sailor Bob down in Melbourne. And so I took the opportunity, and it was part of my seeking period when I was down in Melbourne, to go and attend to several of his meetings. And so I did meet him, and I met John Wheeler from America as well at the same meeting and so on. Yeah. But I just came away from those meetings totally frustrated. I didn't wake up from those meetings. But I did get one really big thing I remember that I got from those meetings was that ordinary people like me could wake up. You didn't have to be a special person or a guru or anything like that to wake up. You didn't have to go to India to do it either. So that was a really positive thing for me. Yeah. And it probably was only about 18 months after those meetings that I did wake up. So they were obviously involved in some way, but yeah, I didn't come
I
away
know,
from wake. Yeah. Mm.
I know Sailor Bob recently passed away because he was old, but whatever happened to John Wheeler? It's like he disappeared. Where
Yeah,
is he hiding in a cave or something?
I don't know. Yeah. No doubt he's gone back to America, but
Totally
yeah,
disappeared.
he might still be around. I don't know.
It's a funny thing. When he John Wheeler, I'm laughing because John Wheeler was a really well-known guy in the non-duality world and he wrote
Yeah.
books. He had lots of videos, and then one day he just disappeared, took all his videos off from the internet. And when you asked people in the non-duality circles, where is John Wheeler? Nobody knows. It's like
Mm.
funny.
Okay. Marius is wanting to use this link, I think. So what if we wind up now? Is that all right? Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank
I'll,
you so much, Vince.
I'll tell him he can have the link. All right.
Cheers, Vince.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Everyone.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.